I am Ian Ginn and the host of Digital Talk. If you have listened to the first episode of the first series, you'll know that the idea behind Digital Talk came from the work I've been doing over a number of years for the GSMA MWC GloMo Awards. I'm therefore delighted to have as our guest Chaye Cabell-Rivera, who is Chief Financial Risk and Sustainability Officer of Metro Pacific Investments Corporation, the holding company of mWell, where she is also the CEO. mWell won the prestigious Best Mobile Innovation for Digital Life at the GloMo Awards in 2023, which was the first time I heard about the great work mWell is doing. mWell were also finalists in the 2025 MWC GloMo Awards for Best Use of Mobile for Accessibility and Inclusion, Digital Everything category, which is where I had the pleasure of meeting Chaye for the first time.
Before we dive in, a quick announcement. Digital Talk is proud to be an official media partner at this year's Connected Britain 2025. The place to be to find out the latest on fibre, 5G and digital infrastructure, which takes place on the 24th and 25th September in London. We'll be bringing you exclusive interviews and insights from the heart of the UK's connectivity revolution. Subscribe now so you don't miss out on this special coverage.
Did you know?
Did you know? Can you guess how many islands and languages there are in the Philippines? Stay tuned to the end of this episode for all to be revealed. So welcome to the podcast, Chaye.
Hi, Ian, and to our listeners. Thanks for having me here. It's my pleasure and honor.
Absolutely great to have you here. Would you mind just saying a few words about yourself and the organization that you represent?
So I'm Chaye Cabell-Rivera, as you mentioned earlier. I actually have two hats. I work for Metro Pacific Investments Corporation, which is the parent company of mWell, where I'm President and CEO at MPIC. I'm the Chief Finance, Sustainability and Risk Officer.
Fantastic. Do you mind telling us a bit more about mWell?
So mWell is the digital health arm of the Metro Pacific Group. Apart from mWell, we actually own 27 hospitals in the Philippines, which is the biggest hospital chain in the country. So apart from the healthcare business, we also own power, water, toll roads, basically the essential services providing the basic needs of the Filipinos. So that's why we're into healthcare. And again, mWell is a digital healthcare arm of the group, where we provide not just teleconsultations, but we also provide wellness and preventive health and health suite solutions for enterprises.
I mean, at the event, or at least what I've physically seen, is an app. Is that, would you say, at the core of the engagement process with customers?
That's correct, because we started mWell during the pandemic, where it was sort of just a need for us, because when we operated our hospitals, we were only able to service patients within our geographic areas of the hospitals, right? And at that time, we also needed to stretch the services of doctors to regional areas where there were no doctors. Hence, we had to come up with this digital health and wellness platform called mWell.
Right. Can you outline a bit the situation in the Philippines regarding access to health services? One statistic which I picked up was something along the lines of 6 out of 10 people don't have access to doctors, or something along those lines. Maybe you could explain the situation, the need there.
That's correct. 6 out of 10 Filipinos die without ever seeing or consulting with a doctor. And that's very, very sad. In terms of the number of doctors, we are also very wanting. So the World Health Organization requires one doctor for every 10,000 population. In the cities, in the major cities of the Philippines, on an average, we have one doctor for every 26,000 Filipinos. But in the regional areas, because, the Philippines is more than 7,100 islands, right? In the regional areas, we have one doctor for every 40,000 Filipinos. So we're really wanting, hence, again, the need to be able to stretch and expand the services of our Filipino doctors to be able to reach more Filipinos through mWell, our digital platform.
Coming back to the whole concept, as you say, mWell also has the word well in it. Feeling well, wellness, if you like, as a topic beyond the healthcare. But you said if I understood it correctly, the app was created as a need on the back of the pandemic. So where did you start? I mean, what was the first thing that you were trying to achieve there, and how did you go about it? Because have you ever developed apps before? I mean, you just mentioned you start with hospitals. It's not a logical thing to say, I've got a hospital, I better build an app, right? So maybe you could walk us through a bit how you the journey, if you like.
Okay, so during the pandemic, we needed to have a digital health platform, right? Because at that time, people needed to consult with doctors and they cannot physically go to hospitals and clinics unless it's really a critical need. So we developed mWell as a platform to be able to reach non-critical patients in terms of consultations and being able to ask for prescriptions for medicines, etc. And coupled with that, on the medical side, was the mental health requirements also. People needed to talk to psychologists. So going back to our statistics earlier, uh, there's only one psychologist for every 100,000 Filipinos, which is also way below the World Health Organization requirement. Thus, again, there is the need to use a digital platform to have all our doctors and psychologists, psychiatrists reach more people. So we started with teleconsultations as the first step, and then corollary to our hospital group, right? Where in certain times the cases surge at the highest levels, and we are not able to have everybody go inside our hospitals because we lack beds, we lack nurses and doctors. So therefore, we really need to encourage everybody to be healthy and, have a strong immune system. And so they also need to push for preventive health. So in our app, apart from teleconsultation, which is consult now for emergency and consult later when you want to book with doctors, there's also some buttons there for food and nutrition and fitness. And then we also came up with a wellness score because at that time during the pandemic, health gadgets or wearables are already available. You have Apple watches, you have Samsung watches, and Huawei, etc. Right? So we came up with this wellness score where you're able to monitor your health score on a daily basis by pairing your wearables to the mWellness score. So it's a function of sleep, your light activity, your exercise, your steps, etc. So we wanted people to be cognizant and mindful of their health score on a daily basis.
So where are we now in the sense of numbers? What I mean is number of subscribers. I believe there's been an acquisition or a merger with a company this year. Maybe you could share more on that as well.
So when we started mWell, we have one competitor. They were actually ahead of us. As a matter of fact, they just celebrated their 10th year anniversary today. So we started in 2022. mWell, they started earlier. So 2014, 2015. But because we leapfrog from just doing teleconsultations, with pairing it with wellness, and as I mentioned earlier, wellness scores, etc. They gave up and they sold their business to us. This is actually with Ayala Group, which is also a huge conglomerate in the Philippines, which started Consulta MD. They sadly they just focus on consultation via chat or video. That was it. But again, we leapfrog more than just consultations to doing more, right? And then we also gamified being healthy. So when you have the wellness score, you can actually group yourself according to your friends, to your family, to your work, and do a leadership board, and then uh, do a challenge so you can give incentives, etc. So you gamify being healthy, and thus Consulta M was sold to us by the Ayala Group early this year, April. So the user base right now is about 6.5 million. We have more than 4,500 doctors in the ecosystem. Um, that's on top of the 8,000 doctors we have in the hospital group. So yeah,
Wow, wow, that's a huge effort, and well done for that. And so, have you had to want to come back to the idea of how you started? Say, you've got hospitals, you've got needy people. I need to service them. Have you then sort of also built a digital arm, so capability in house? But you said you also service other industries and do other things. So, did you already have a strong IT department that was able to do this? Because I mean, it's quite a big ask to do what you guys have done, and the comprehensive of it is also impressive. I mean, as you say, it is 360 healthcare and wellness in an app, I guess.
that's right. So we actually our tech people are both internal and some are outsourced. Especially if you want to develop some features that we kind of need to do, now. So we do things in parallel, and we also get some outsourced vendors to actually work with us. Those who we have vetted and we feel are aligned with our vision, our purpose, and in terms of quality, we can trust.
And how do you come up with new ideas of what needs to be done next? How and what's the process internally? Because I also hear you've done started things like sending what they call go bags. You tell me about that bit. There's like you're giving sort of going out to stilted. I was going to think islands, but it's not even islands. It's like houses on stilts. So you're like really are pushing the boat out, literally, as we'd say in English.
That's correct. We actually try to address the needs of people who we want to give access to in terms of health, right? So one of the key issues would be people being able to go out of their the remote areas, for example, islands and mountainous areas where they have to traverse rivers. And then the other issue also is the lack of budget by the local government units to be able to put up health centers in their respective areas. So what we did was to put together an mWell on the go, which is actually a clinic in a back. It's a backpack where the requirement for a healthcare worker is already there. So apart from those tools, we also recognize that some off-grid areas, meaning there's no electricity, you cannot connect, right? So we put a foldable solar panel and an energy storage tank inside the backpack, along with all of those tools and wireless gadgets for connectivity, along with our all the medical tools that we have, the pressure, all of those things, together with the whatever the barangay needs or the local community needs that are not present in electricity, connectivity. So we provide all those Wi-Fi uh, gadgets and then the solar panels in one pad. So it's a clinic on the go. Basically, they just have to uh, install and put everything in a desk of the local head, like a barangay health officer or the barangay captain, which is the head of the local community, and people can have access already to talking to doctors, specialists, 24 by 7.
So it's like a walk-in clinic, I guess we'd call it, where you can literally walk in and get at least that initial assessment, right? Because I think that's a key part of it. Of course, whether they have to go to hospital is a whole nother matter, but at least give them, as you said, coming back to that initial statement you made, which is, as I say, that 6 out of 10 have never seen a doctor before they die, and imagine after that they don't need them anymore. But it's not. It's one of those things, really, isn't it? But that's great that you're able to push the healthcare out to the people, and you also just touched on the telecommunications need as well, right? Because you also, having done the triage, having done the initial assessment, taken people's measurements, etc., that also needs to, one, be captured, but then also brought back to maybe a specialist who can then do something, as well as the ongoing consultation, I guess. Have you got any heartwarming stories that you've heard from patients that you made a difference to their lives? Have you got examples that you can share?
Oh, many. So this need of doing an ML on the go and then doing a consultation via digital, there's many stories. So there's one IT or indigenous person, a part of an indigenous people's community who actually lost two kids because it takes them half a day to travel from where they are to traverse many rivers to the main town for them to be able to see a doctor. But now, with mWell and the mWell on the go that we actually provided to their local community, they're able to talk to doctors. And another sort of innovation or answer to the need for those far-flung areas is a drone delivery for medicines. Because, Ian, it's one thing having consult- consultations with doctors and getting prescriptions, right? But it's another thing also getting medicines. So along with the Department of Information and Communications and Technology, the ICT of the Philippines, the national government, we've actually partnered with them to do a drone delivery uh, arrangement with the barangays in far-flung area.
I mean, that's great. And has that been in service for very long? And do you want to expand it?
We just piloted early this year.
And do you see it being extended across the country? Is that possible?
Yes, of course.
Well, I'm just thinking of, also in today's world, people getting home deliveries, basically. So it's not just the question of worrying about the 4 hours. They go, okay, I'll press a button and I'll get my stuff. So that's pretty cool.
We're lucky because we are here in the cities, right? But some local communities in the Philippines do not have that kind of privilege, right? That you can do orders from Amazon and you get it the next day. That's not how it works in some areas. So they have to traverse rivers and walk for half a day. So being able to provide them that health access, which is a basic right for everybody, is already something.
Generally, I think it's great. And as you say, a game changer for the people. And also timeliness is also important, right? Because it's not just, there is the issue of physically getting from A to B, which can take time, but some of the situation will be critical. You can't get an ambulance. There's no helicopter. There's, no way of really getting to them. So a drone could provide that medication on time if you can get it out there. The foliage, the coverage can be a problem, of course, as well. I'm working obviously in the communication space, and I know that trees are not your best friend when it comes to communications.
Line of sight.
Line of sight is good, but also understand there are thousands of islands, which will also. I don't want to give a number away because I think that's part of the podcast where we'll be asking. We like to do a thing called "What do you know?" So it's sort of a question to the audience. So with that, so I think we're going to use that on this podcast. So the other area, which I think, so we've covered a lot: the drones, amazing, the people on stilts. I believe you're also helping people, living abroad, right? There's another angle to this. So maybe you could share a bit more on that. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Because there are a lot of overseas Filipino workers who actually leave their families to be able to work abroad. And I believe there's many there in the UK of very amazing nurses, medical person there, right?
You're telling me. Yes, exactly. I almost made the comment when you said, and I'm going to make it now, but like you're saying, the lack of doctors, I'm thinking, yeah, they've all been exported abroad, right? The doctors and the nurses. Certainly there's a huge, not huge, but certainly I mean, I've been to hospital myself. I don't know if you want to disclose why, but yeah, I think certainly some of the staff came from, the Philippines as well. So thank you for them as well. Yeah. So great export.
That's right. Export talent and people. So we have many Filipinos who sing in bands in other countries and also serve as caregivers, nurses, nannies, domestic helpers in other countries, right? Because we cook and we sing and we take good care of families. And so they sacrifice leaving their families behind in the Philippines to be able to work abroad. And for them to be able to do that, they have to be healthy. Otherwise, they will be sent home by their employers, right? If they're not healthy. So again, it's very important that they keep themselves healthy. Or if ever they need to speak with a doctor, I think based on our discussions with them in the Department of Migrant Workers, which actually take care of them, they prefer to talk to Filipino doctors who speak their dialect or their language. Because there was one case, Ian, in Dubai, her means of livelihood or earning is through singing. And when she got sick in Dubai, she was speaking to a non-Filipino doctor, and they could not understand each other. And then she got operated on in the throat, and after the operation, she couldn't sing anymore. So therefore, yes, that's very sad. So therefore, the need and the requirement for Filipinos out there to be able to speak their own dialect and to speak to doctors who can understand them in their dialect and their own language. And so our platform, our mWell platform, is an open platform for Filipinos. So OFWs, the 10 million who are registered, another 10 million who are not registered, are able to call Filipino doctors. And the other thing also is they're also able to pay for health care of their families in the Philippines. Because sometimes, yeah, like a Filipino mom would pay or send money for the children back in the Philippines to be cared for, to be sent to doctors or hospitals, right? But say, for example, the auntie or the uncle got the money and spent it somewhere else. So now they're able to really buy the health access in terms of consultations through the health passes that we provide via mWell for the use of their family members back in the Philippines.
That's very clever, very neat solution, I think, as well as you say, it avoids any misuses that unwanted situations as well.
Today's episode is sponsored by IFG Consulting Europe, who help operators to tap into technologies to accelerate digitization of the network, drive revenues, and reduce costs by championing promising software providers in telecoms, enterprise, and mobile markets. Go to ifgconsultingeurope.com to find out more.
Coming to a bit of the future, I mean, I think it's clear about the scalability. I mean, you've got 6 million people on the platform now, I think, registered. Let's say in 5 years' time, what are we talking about? How ambitious are we? How many Filipinos? I mean, the population in the Philippines, I think, is
120 million.
There you go. So there's still a way to go.
We love to have babies, the Filipinos. Some countries, the population is depleting, right? But the Philippines continue to increase.
What about then the ambitions? Where are we taking this? You got 6 million so far, which is great. But, given you're the largest, if I understand correctly, the leaders in the market, where's the ambition in the sense of, where do you think in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, you can take this? And are there any other features or ideas that you'd like to
Yeah,
announce here first?
I think you'll be the first to actually hear this. We are talking with the national government right now for mWell to actually help the eGov Act of the government to be the support for the health services there. Because right now, the telehealth system is a bit limited. So people have to really go to the health centers to register. And there is a 1:1 registration. So for example, me, I have to only go to one health center that's registered by PhilHealth. So for example, if I work in a different area, which is normal, right? I have to go back to where I'm registered to be able to get the health access for free from the Philippines. So we're actually trying to put all the accredited telehealth centers and clinics in the ecosystem of our mWell Health Hub. Because right now, one of the things that we have at mWell is the Health Hub ecosystem where we have all the clinics there and you can do digital booking. So we will onboard all of the telehealth accredited clinics. And because we also have a health ID for mWell, so for as long as you're a health member and you also have a digital health ID with your personal health records, now you can actually go to any clinic. So the convenience, the experience, etc., is made much better. So everything is digital now. Even the booking, the getting of the results. We will leapfrog the UK. I promise you.
Well, that's another area of discussion to be had. Is I generally thought, because I know our government is currently trying to improve our health service, and as you maybe know, it's one of the largest organizations there is outside the Chinese army, supposedly. Our health service, and I believe mWell could help in the UK because fundamentally the back end, the technology is there, right? So, but again, I think we have I agree with you. I mean, you've got some great stuff there, and I don't think it's just the UK. I think there are lots of parts of the world, which is, of course, what this podcast is partly about, is to spread the ideas and give people ideas. And so I don't think I think that's an opportunity that, you could think about in the years to come, is to actually create a product, if you like, not just it as part of your health service, but say, we want to commercialize and have this available through other channels, other countries. Why not?
That's correct. So we really want to improve the experience of patients. So for example, you have a health QR code where all clinics will be able to scan it and you don't have to write your name, whatever. And in the hospitals, it's all there. And then this also will have your personal health records. So they don't have to interview you. What are you sick of, etc., family history. Because when you allow them to have access to your records, then they have access to it.
Don't start me on that. I find it the most incredible, annoying thing at a hospital or a doctor's, where you go explain it, let's say, to the nurse, and then the doctor comes in, can you explain it again? And third, fourth person, particularly if you've been in the hospital for a number of times, or they change shift again. And you're going, guys, I'm ill. What do I have to remember what I like? I would explain to you what my illness is. It's documented somewhere. Why don't you read the notes or whatever? Just such a pain. And it's not, this is the UK. It is not digitalized, right? It is not digitalized as much as it could be. I know we're working on it, but again, maybe, more than happy if mWell can help there. Maybe that's an opportunity as well going forward. And so you mentioned working with the government.
Yeah, I want to show you, for example, if you want to uh, book for a dental service. So these are the dental services, right? I know in the UK you have to text or call. Here you don't have to. You just click, for example, then you can already say, what do you need? What services? Say tooth cleaning. Say tooth cleaning. And then it says, okay, for tooth cleaning, this is what you need to do. And then it'll give you the date. So for example, on September 30, and then it'll give you the time, and then you book say 10 a.m. and then you review the appointment, and then you just book. That's it.
Yeah, so it's a full digital experience. I understand.
Alright, and then you will also get reminders, notification that Mr. Ian Jean, you have a 10 a.m. appointment with the Sapphire Dental Clinic. And then it'll also appear in your Google Calendar or whatever. So you don't forget.
It's, yeah, as I say, really impressive. Yeah, and it's not, our system's not joined up like that. But no, as I say, I mean, genuinely, that's partially why I thought it'd be good to have you as guests. One, you're doing good, and seems a great product, and most countries could do with something similar. I don't know if you've heard in Scandinavia, employers are tasked with looking after their employees' health. I don't know if that's crossed your table yet. So that means you have.
Isn't that a big thing? The employers have to take care of their employees' health because, that will increase productivity, less in absenteeism, lower medical costs, etc. So it's good.
Yeah, exactly. But there's an opportunity there as well to sell the service to the employers as well, to then make it available to their people.
We also have a corporate dashboard where we have wellness programs. And if you have the wearables, you connect to the wellness score. We will give you the dashboard for the physical health, the wellness of your employees, as well as the mind health. Because apart from the wellness score, Ian, so here we have the wellness score. So there is a wellness score, and mind health.
Yes, I see. Yes, there's mind health as well, right? Which is a very important point, as you're saying, which you're trying to expand on.
Yeah, because it's a combination of the physical and the mind health. And here we don't call it mental health because mental here in the Philippines connotes craziness. So yeah, mind health on the positive side. So if your mind health score is low, then your HR people will say, oh, how are you? It's a proactive thing, which we have also been reached out to by universities, particularly Parents Association. So we go to universities now for students, for young people, for mind health score and the wellness score, because being healthy has to be started at a young age, because you don't get unhealthy when you're 40, right? It starts when you're young. When you don't sleep, you don't eat well, you're, a potato couch, especially with our kids right now. They have a relationship with their phones and their gadgets. They're always in the sofas and in beds, right? They're hardly playing. Unlike us, we used to run outside. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So the times now are different. So we're trying to encourage everybody to be physically fit and mentally fit as well.
It's a movement. It's almost the movement. It's not just an app.
It is. And so we have, as I said, we have gamified it. So we have a leadership board.
So what's your favorite game? What's the favorite game, and how well are you doing at it?
This year we have the wellness score for mWell, right? So for mWell, the mWell group, we are being ranked based on your score. So because you're being ranked with your name.
So how are you doing? How are you doing with it? That's the question.
My average is 78, which is okay.
78 for what?
My wellness score.
Out of 100?
Out of 100.
Oh, very good. Excellent. Well done.
Yeah.
Great. And which is your favorite game? Is there a game where you said there's gamification?
No,
Do you play any of the games yourself?
Gamifying being healthy by all these dashboards and leadership challenges. So we exercise via Zumba, dancing, like that together as a team for 30 minutes, exercise every day at work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's great. Well, is there anything else on mWell directly you want to talk about? Because I'd like to get on to know about a little bit more about you as well, if that's okay with you.
Also, for mWell, we've actually expanded to address the needs of, the country and the people, and we've also tried to address the needs of our hospital group. So, because we want the doctors to have a better experience, also we came up with this mWell MD platform for doctors, which is like an EMR for doctors, and now AI assisted. So because we want the doctors, when they're talking to their patients, whether face to face or via video, where they're talking to you and like us looking at each other, right? With our eyes, focused on each other rather than, okay, me like a doctor. So, Ian, how are you? And I'm typing here and you know what I mean? So it's a more personalized thing. So with the AI doctor assist of mWell, while we are talking, the EMR of mWell is able to put the notes already listening to what the patient is saying and putting in the doctor's notes, the proposed medication, the diagnosis, etc., but which will have to be reviewed and approved by the doctor. So really, this is to make life easy for the doctor for efficiency because the doctors did not go to medical school to type, right? So this one, just so they will pay attention to their patients. That's very important. And so there's a AI doctor assist. And so they will just
I think that's really clever. And sorry, I was going to raise AI as a topic because, as you know, that's everywhere. Everyone thinks AI is going to solve everything, but actually, you've solved a real problem, as you say, is that the doctor can focus on what he really needs to do, which is the patient, and actually seeing, and that connection can be itself therapeutic in the way. Also, that seeing also helps the doctor to analyze really who's in front of them, because it's not just hearing the person, seeing the person, how they behave, how they react. All these things are important things which are non-verbal, or let's say non-written. So that's really important to do that. And now I want to come back to the process here, because I actually years ago, I think about 10 years ago, and apologize, doctors, hopefully you will treat me going forward if I need it. But I was at an event in North London area, and it was about health service, needs for health services. And I left the conference quite dejected because it was about apps, right? In the UK, for example, apps. And the way they described it is that unless if I'm a doctor and you're a doctor, I develop an app, unless you yourself have been involved with it, you're not going to adopt it, you're not going to use it. So here we have the problem of scale in that sense. There you cannot, each doctor is basically his own little kingdom, his own little, has his own control, if you like, and he will only allow things into his practice which have been authorized by him. So it's really difficult for us to scale horizontally. It's not as if one practitioner of a doctor can go along and say, I've got this great idea, I think the whole health service needs it. So much testing, so much validation, plus, as I say, getting people to change their way of working. So how have you been able to address that? Because it sounds like you've taken a doctor's problem and made it reality. So you're talking about jumping ahead of the UK maybe on health service. I think you're definitely on the right track I think you're already there, but you can accelerate that. But maybe it's got to do with, I'd like to sort of tickle out of you, how have you managed to get the healthcare people to say, actually, that would be really useful, and now delivered it? How's that happened?
Maybe one, we get them involved first before we develop something. So we get their inputs first. And then two, we actually have very, very good doctors in the team. So for example, our COO now, our Chief Operating Officer, is a doctor. He is actually a POIM 10 Outstanding Young Men for Medicine awardee in the Philippines. So he is the HL7 president of whatever. So the doctors actually respect him, and even if he's young, he's also the head of the Medical Informatics Association in Asia. He used to work for the Center for Disease Control in the US, World Health Organization. So in terms of reputation, we have that in the team. And also, what's helpful is because we own 27 of the biggest hospitals in the Philippines, right? With the brand and the name. So Metro Pacific actually has the Halo brand, and we have the best doctors in the group. So with our group using all of these innovative platforms and new technologies, it sort of makes us the first in the first of the we're ahead of the curve, right? From a thinking process perspective, we get everybody involved. So like for example, our mWell MD EMR, our tagline there is an EMR that's made for doctors by doctors. You know what I mean? So it's very because it's the issues and the pain points are addressed by doctors themselves, backed up by UX specialists in the group, and by a very very good tech team. So our CTO now, our Chief Technology Officer, used to be the CTO of Union Digital Bank, which is the first digital bank in the Philippines that has digitized everything. So we have a very solid team. So if you Google the mWell team, I mean, they know that we're the team to be
Okay, it's called the A team, otherwise known as the A team, I guess.
the triple A team.
The triple A team, fantastic. Well, there you go. That's answered, isn't it? Also, the ability they have the knowledge, they have the not just the knowledge, experience, and backgrounds, I guess, which culminates in being able to. I think digital first, I guess, is fundamentally what's happened. Having a medical background, but then thinking digital first. I get the feeling. Would that be a fair way?
That's correct. That's correct. And really solving the basic issues of all doctors, of the healthcare landscape of the Philippines, and working with the PhilHealth, which is the NHK equivalent of the UK, the PhilHealth, and then the Department of Health, the DICT. So working with key stakeholders.
So you had said, and I'll try this once again about the future. You've been kind enough to suggest you're working with the government, but given that health care is still a big issue in Philippines, right? And you're addressing 6 million, which is huge, but there's another, whatever, that's 5%, right, of the population roughly. So there's still a long way to go. Has the government put targets in place which allow you to accelerate a program of delivery, or how do you see it panning out?
So we are partnering with them to make mWell the back-end platform of the eGov Health Service app. So right now they have about 18 million PhilHealth members that's registered in that eGov app. So that's 6.5 plus 18 if they're not there's no double lapping overlapping, and then we encourage everybody else to register through the local government units that we're actually working with. So the plan is to cover all 120 million Filipinos.
In what time frame?
Maybe the next 5 years. But Ian, if we do this less than 5 years, I will go to you. First.
What do you mean? You'll be on my podcast again, you mean, for an update? Yes, of course you would. I will have an exclusive on that.
Of
Fantastic.
course.
No, it's really good, as I say, and yeah, I think it's doable. I mean, you're the leader, so what can go wrong, right?
Yeah. I think good things happen to good people. I really believe that.
That's it. We can back this all up in the sense of let's find out a bit more about you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
As the person. So can I ask the first question? So this is now about your person, because one thing's to talk about the project, which is great, but also there's often people behind it that make it happen, right? So you are as CEO, you are definitely leading it, as we just discussed. So what were you doing before you joined MPIC?
So I was the chief finance officer of Smart Communications, which is the one of the two biggest wireless telcos in the Philippines, Smart. And then I was also concurrent group controller of PLDT, which is also the incumbent fixed line operator in the Philippines. So I worked with PLDT and Smart for 20 years for finance. I was also the first PLDT Group Sustainability Officer, by the way.
Okay, great, great. A bit more about you in the sense of, do you have a philosophy that you live by?
I have many. We are blessed to bless others. That's why we do things at mWell, because we are the lucky ones, right? So we have to do our part. So we are lucky. We have complete eyesight. We have complete fingers. We can walk. We're healthy. So we have to do our part in making life easy for those who do not have that kind of privilege and are blessed to be able to eat 3, 5 times a day like us, right?
And where do you think you got that philosophy from?
Oh, I think from my parents. I see that from them because they were that I've always seen them help people. And right now, my dad is a mayor in our town.
Okay, so you've been brought up in that sort of mindset. And if we go back in time, which I know was only a few years ago when you're a teenager, what do you want to be when you're a teenager? Do you know then what are you going to do? Because I mean, obviously telco and mWell is not necessarily something that is normally something that they, when you're a teenager, that you go, oh, yeah, I'll be in communications. Any idea where you want to be?
When I was in high school, I've always wanted to be a doctor. See? And I became a CPA and accountant, and maybe that's why I'm here with mWell, because I want to maybe help in the healthcare and help save lives. And that's why I do what I do, maybe. Because originally I enrolled myself to medical school in Cebu. It's a province in Visayas. But then my parents said, you should follow your auntie, who is a very successful accountant. One of So they enrolled me. I did not enroll. They enrolled me to Lasal on an accountancy degree. And because I was trying to follow the honor your father and mother commandment, I did.
That's the second commandment. So you did. Well done. You did that. But you're getting the curve, as you say. You're somehow, the gravity is pulling you towards healthcare in one way or another. So that brings me on to the next question of your passion. What are you passionate about?
To be able to help people and make a difference. Because I know that life isn't about me. It's about making a difference. I mean, I try to help as many people as I can and try to teach my kids that way. So that's why I don't have any pressure for myself, because I don't try to achieve things for myself. It comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I do things not to be recognized, or because I know that we are not going to be recognized here on earth. Our true recognition is in heaven.
That's a good place to end up.
Yes.
Not all of us will make it. But I'm sure you do well up there.
No, but come on, Ian, let's go to heaven.
Yeah, let's go to heaven together. There we go. But you mentioned something really important to you, which is you said talk about children, right? So it maybe leads to the next question, which is about what are you doing when you're not working?
Oh, I try to sleep because that's what I need, and spend time with my kids. I have a 9-year-old, and we do artwork together. She likes to sing and dance, so I there's a new craze now, the K-pop Demon Hunters. You know that on Netflix. So all the songs there are in the top Billboard chart. I'm sure it's also there in the UK. You should listen to it. So my 9-year-old is crazy about it, and so even at work, the
So how does it work? Maybe I haven't quite understood how this works.
Goodness, I don't know. Let me just,
Okay. No problem. No, it's okay.
But it's nice. And we,
So these are songs, or these are
yeah,
what
song.
is okay? But this the artistic bit and the dancing, is that something you used to do yourself?
When I was a little girl, yeah, but I can dance. I think I can dance.
Okay, hit the floor,
Yeah.
and that's it. There you are.
I love
Fantastic.
music. Yeah.
So you said the other thing you do, the other thing you said you're about to say. Sorry.
I read the Bible now, but I try to read the Sefer Bible where it's trying to put the Hebrew names, the original Hebrew names.
So less translated, less compromised, let's say.
Yeah, because now it's the English version, which has been translated from original Hebrew to what's this? Aramaic, and then Latin, and then Greek, right? And then English, like that. So I'm trying.
Okay, well, that sounds a ambitious goal. Good luck with that. But no, it's good. I mean, these things are, yeah. I mean, it's good to have a challenge, which is certainly not easy to do. This is one which I wonder if you've had some thinking about time for this one, which is there a fun fact or something about you that people might be surprised at or not expect?
Oh, I like to draw and design things like jewelry. So some of the jewelry that I wear, I have some of my friends from Bulacan do it. So jewelry, I
Okay,
like
so you
that.
actually,
So,
you're generating your own
yeah.
jewelry.
So
That's pretty
I'm a
cool.
bit creative. A little.
So actually, that comes back to some of the wearables you guys are doing. You could design them.
Yeah.
Well, you could also be designer of them. There you go. You could part of the mWell story as well. And I think you're well traveled. Would that be fair to say? You've been around a few places.
Yes, for work, and because my parents are in their late 70s now, while they can still walk, we try to travel once a year with them because it's important to be able to spend time with them. Because when I'm old, when I'm also in my late 70s, I also want my kids to spend time with me. That's a circle of life. So I want my kids to see that I'm spending time with my parents. So when they grow up, they also spend time with me and with us. That's parenthood by example.
That's also a good one. But yeah, is there anywhere that you've traveled which has left an impact on you?
Beautiful places, Maldives. You really see how beautiful the earth is, and we should take care of everything. And then Cape Town, amazing, amazing place.
Did you go up to Table Mountain? Did you manage up Table Mountain?
No, because we only flew in and out because there was, I think that was for, I remember speaking there, and then traveling for that speaking engagement and then flying out. So we only got to see it on the road.
In passing, literally, yeah. Blimey. But definitely a place to go back to. It's actually one of the only places I've been in South Africa. I mean, been to a place in North Africa, but South Africa. And yeah, I stayed there a few days. I enjoyed it as well. I went up Table Mountain. It was quite interesting. I seem to remember it was a bit foggy at the time. But anyway, certainly a place to go back to. And what was it about Table Mountain, or let's say Cape Town, that impressed you? What was the...
No, it's actually amazing because you see the table mountain and then the ocean. It's best of both worlds, right? Because you go to a certain place, it's Maldives is all sea. Here at Cape Town, you see the mountains and the beautiful sea all together. It's a mashup of beautiful things.
Okay, got you. Yeah. There are other parts of the world, we can talk about that offline, where that exists as well.
Like the UK, I also love the UK. I love your palaces because I got to meet your king.
Oh, yes, you did. I saw there was a picture of you with him. Okay. Did you talk to Charlie?
Only at one time.
Okay. What did he ask you? Did he ask you or something? Normally, that's the way it runs. They ask you a question.
Yes, I remembered. He remembered what I did with my nameplate. Oh, Metro Pacific Investments Corporation, I love the way you do your whatever sustainability and doing biodiversity protection and waste management like that.
It's the first time I've had Prince Charles being copied with an American accent. Or at least it certainly wasn't very British, but that's fine though. But yes, he was aware. See, he does care about what he's doing, and wish him all the best and good health as well, because I don't believe that's always in the best situation. So, what's the legacy you want to leave on this great plan of ours?
Okay, so I want to be able to raise up my children really well.
You said children. You said a 9-year-old so far.
I have two kids. I have one boy. The eldest is the boy, and then Chaye is the 9-year-old. I want to be able to raise them well, to be good people.
Raise them well goes well with mWell, by the way. Raise them well and mWell. It's
mWell, correct. Raise them mWell. And through mWell, maybe save lives and make a difference, because every life that we are able to help or save could be a life that would one day save my kids, right? You know what I mean? Because I've always believed in trying to do good and trying to help others, to uplift others, because when others are uplifted, society in general will be safer. There's so people who will steal, kill. You know what I mean? Because if people are healthy, they're able to go to work, because the Philippines is mostly a daily wage earner country. So if they're able to go to work and earn a living, provide for their families, and put food on the table, and they're not going to steal, right? So, and some people do drugs because they want to forget, their issues, and if they're all mind health conscious, then there's no drug addicts who will kill, rape, etc. So our children and we will be safer. So it's a multiplier and pervasive effect. If you're able to change the lives of others, then ultimately it'll lead to a better life for everybody, including our children in the future. So it's really seeding for the future.
very good, impressive. And is there something in particular achievement that you're proud of?
My kids, my family, because my parents are healthy, the people that I work with at MPIC, at mWell, I may be sometimes difficult because I want to get things done, but there's a purpose for it. I want to be able to expand the wings of people, because I've always believed that making them step up and making them successful is part of my job as their leader. To push the buttons where they flourish and they fly. Because if everybody's kick ass in the group, it's easier for everyone, right? If everybody's able to lift the weight, then it's easier. So that's my job.
That's great. And what do you think, given that you are a leader of an important organization, what do you think is the next big thing in 10 years' time from now? What do you think there'll be? Is there anything particular that you think will invented or change in the world in 10 years from now? Do you see yourself a bit of a visionary or able to predict the future?
Well, I think making health as a basic right, which is given to everybody, is one thing that we want everyone to have. Because in the Philippines, only those who have money are the ones who are able to see doctors, etc. Right? So us helping the government be able to channel their budget in the right way, being able to monitor the spend, etc., through a back-end system that works, being able to provide the data for analytics, for example, so that one area is able to provide wellness programs for certain people who are sick with this, etc. So it's more a targeted healthcare approach rather than a machine gun Right now, there's no data. And we also want to be able to put either an mWell watch or an mWell ring to every Filipino so that we can also do predictive analytics in terms of their health, what they can do proactively uh, at a relatively earlier stage to pivot from whatever it is that they're doing now to change their lifestyle to be more healthy. Because at the end of the day, even if you're rich, if you have this title, etc., you have this mansion, this palace to our King Charles, right? Even if you're the king of the world, if you have cancer, you have cancer. There's nothing, you know what I mean?
But but you made I think a really interesting comment, because when you're healthy, it's just given, right? You're normal, right? That's like, but you can have the simplest ailment, the simplest problem, and you suddenly, I don't know, a toe hurts or something even small, but it really affects you.
That's right.
It really, small things can, I mean, let alone big things, as you just mentioned, the BC word, but there are even other things which really can affect people. And coming back to what you just said, yes, if you're saying like people are paid on a daily basis for work, if you work, you paid, if you don't, you don't. Huge impact on their ability to look after themselves and feel well. So it's fantastic. I do tend to have some other questions here, but I think given the nature of those podcasts, I'm most likely not going to ask them. But there was one I'd like to ask you, which is a shout out. Would you like to give a shout out to someone or an organization that you think is doing good?
Oh, I naturally it would be with our boss MVP, who has always been supportive of what we do. He has allowed me in the last 26 years to spread my wings, to do the things that I've been able to do right now. So within his group, I've been able to do finance, risk, sustainability. And who would have thought an accountant, right, would do digital healthcare now? So a shout out to him. Of course, to our MPIC family and mWell family and KMD family now. They are the force for good that's really behind mWell and everything that we're doing now. They are the fingers, the hands, the toes, the feet, the legs, the arms of everything that's happening in mWell, the brains, the eyes, the everything, the nose, the breath. So it's all MPIC and mWell because without them, you know, nothing's going to happen. So everyone works really hard, and the passion is something that is commendable. So even if I want to do many, many things, they're okay with things, and you know.
It's also infectious, right? If you lead from the top and set an example, that also will lead other people. As you're also mentioning, if how you want, how you set an example to your children, the same will no doubt you're doing to your staff as well. So anyway, it's been a real pleasure to have you on this podcast and learn more about mWell and the wider family. Providing a healthcare and wellness capability for the Philippines population at this stage. But watch this space. I see opportunities beyond the Philippines as well. And yeah, great to have you on the podcast.
Thanks, Ian. Until next time.
Did you know?
Did you know results? The Philippines consists officially of 7,641 islands, according to the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority, an increase from 7,107 due to a more precise mapping technique. Regarding languages, the Philippines is highly diverse, with approximately 186 living languages. Whilst there are dozens of distinct regional languages and dialects, such as Cebuano, Ilocano, and Hiligaynon, the national language is Filipino, a standard form of Tagalog, and English is also an official language.
And before we wrap up, another exciting update. Digital Talk is also a media partner at this year's Network X 2025, taking place between the 14th and 16th of October in Paris, the global platform for telecoms, cloud, and edge innovation. We'll be sharing expert insights and exclusive content from the event. Follow the podcast and stay ahead of the curve.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to rate us and subscribe, and feel free to follow us on LinkedIn. And if you have comments or ideas for future episodes, please send us an email. Thanks for being part of the Digital Talk community and for listening. Stay tuned.